Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with another themed 2v2. Today we're taking on a Chaos theme. Khorne demands blood, therefore the Beastmen and Norsca will be facing off against the Warriors of Chaos. Let's quickly go through the builds. I've got the Regiment of Renowned Cygor, Frontline of Chaff, and some pigs. We've got some Berserkers here for Gojira. Let's see here, Marauders, Berserkers, and yeah, more Marauders. We've got some Famir, also some Javs for a happy Javelin Day, Throg, Shaman Sorcerer, Lore of Metal, and yeah, that's pretty much it for the Warriors of Chaos. We've got Kolek and Archaon, whole bunch of Chaos Warriors, some Chosen, more Chaos Warriors, some Chaos Trolls. We've got some Aspiring Champions as well. Looks like Death, Magic, more Chaos Warriors, who'd have guessed. Some mounted Marauders and Poison Warhounds out on the flanks, and right off the bat, that Eye of Morslip going to be opening up shots on the filthy Shielded Chosen here, of course, generating some great value, 10 kills already on a very expensive unit, and yeah, so basically both of us just brought rush armies, more or less, outside of the Eye of Morslip for our army. So we're going to let the Warriors kind of trudge across the snow a little bit there, Kolek dropping some lightning in the middle, and we're probably going to have some more spells also. Meanwhile, over here, we've got some Famir standing in the way, kind of guarding. The throwing axes are going to try and throw some axes at the Eye of Morslip, but the Javelins quickly coming forward to wish them happy Javelin Day. We're going to even freeze one of these units into place, and yeah, those Javelins just absolutely wreck shop there. Meanwhile, a Flame Storm goes off over on the far side, just roasting through tons of these Barbarians. Even going to get into the second line of pigs here, just absolute chaos barbecue, which Khorne, of course, loves. I mean, he's not the biggest fan of magic, but if you're going to do magic, you might as well make it nice and flashy like that, right? Here comes the frontline engagement. Barbarians clashing with Goatmen, and then more Barbarians and Giant Pigs. We've got the massively armored Chosen moving in here as well, and this huge pig charge is actually going to do quite a bit of damage. You can see the Eye of Morslip tossing in some really nice shots from the side there, getting in some friendly fire. Looks like we're going to have a final transmutation here, potentially. Pretty good stuff. Go after some of these damaged Chosen and more. Kolek also runs into the area of effect as well. If we take a look over on the far side, there's some stuff going on, but let's be honest. This is a chaos on chaos battle. Really, the main engagement is the frontline engagement, and already you can see some Beastmen running away. No surprises there. Just absolute brutality in the front line as Throg and some of these other beasts are punching through pretty heavily in this pocket. Meanwhile, Kolek trying to fend off the pigs, but the bacon is being brought here, and you can see the Warriors of Chaos are suffering pretty badly right off the get-go, as that pig charge followed up with the Barbarians was just a lot to deal with. That being said, there's pretty strong Chaos presence out on this flank, some Chosen with halberds and some Warriors with halberds, doing well fending off the pigs, and Shaggoth there as well, probably going to be able to drag down those Famir also. We've also got Trolls running up and around the side here, getting a great flanking position. Famir on Trolls. These are not the great weapon Famir, so they won't have a bonus versus large, but it looks like Archaon dropping some heat, quite literally, in the center pocket there, roasting out some Goats and Barbarians. Meanwhile, the double Gorebull squad is rolling up the flank here. We're just trying to get a nice terror route going, see if we can't start to roll up this side of the battlefield completely. And Kolek dealing with the pigs. You can see quite a few of the pigs have run out of steam. My Shaman Sorcerer also just got absolutely canned by Archaon. No surprises there, but Archaon also keeping his distance. You can see Throg not too happy about these Trolls choosing their allegiance to Archaon. Gonna run over and think about teaching them a lesson, but then actually decide, you know what? Let's get out of there. A beautiful Vile Tide from Malgor the Dark Omen there, who of course is leading my army. We're also going to drop a nice little Devolve there to do some damage and help drop leadership as well. You can see the balance power pretty clearly in our favor, but the Warriors do still have some strong pockets left. But just this break over on the far side with the Bull Squad, the Butchers of Kalkengard and the two Gorebulls, absolutely brutal. Now going to get matched up, crowd on the Shaggoth here. Granted, the Shaggoth can definitely send them flying, will do quite a bit of damage, even dropped a unit model there, but just not going to have enough in the tank. Kolek got taken out there by the brutality, and at this point, not really too much left on the field. There are still some Chosen with halberds here, chasing it out. You can see they're chasing some of the routing units here. Unfortunately, that does mean they're going to leave Archaon to just get absolutely javelined. He's getting chased by Throg as well, so not the best situation. Throg just absolutely killed one of those aspiring champions. And this nice rush of Famir warriors running in. They are soul blighted, which is not the best, but Chosen with halberds now moving in against this massive mash of monsters. Try saying that 5 times fast. But despite their eliteness, they will take quite a bit of damage here. That being said, they're going to return some damage as well, so we'll see. Maybe the warriors can pull something back here, but out here on the side, these marauders get absolutely blown up by wolves. We've got Archaon as well, still just running away from all of the savage beasts. Unfortunately, Kolek has long since deserted. I say that. Of course, Kolek then starts coming back to the battle, but you can see the Warriors of Chaos just struggling to hold their leadership together in general, and it is going to be a relatively quick victory for the Beastmen Alliance. Of course, Famir are technically classified as Beastmen, but a very fun battle. Big thanks to everyone involved here. Gojira and myself taking the Beastmen Alliance against Archaon's domination squad here. And yeah, it worked out quite well. Just the massive pig charge multi-layered in with the barbarians following up the Ungors to soak the chaff. We had the heavies on the one side to help roll things up. And then, yeah, Gojira's heavies as well. The Famir getting some really, really nice work done. The javelins as well, doing a ton of damage to Archaon and some other high-value targets, helping to defend the Eye of Morslave, which got 137 kills, able to fire unimpeded that entire time. As for Bryce's forces here under Archaon, Chosen, unfortunately, just got stepped on a little bit here. They ended up just getting outnumbered mostly. I mean, obviously, they do have very elite stats. One-on-one, they'd be able to take on most of the units that we brought here. But in a MASH situation like that, because most of the other Chaos forces gave out relatively quickly, it was a pretty tough situation for them. I think maybe for Black Iron here, who's under the Baxter Stockman name, and Bryce maybe would have gone better to just skew very, very heavily into lots and lots of halberds, just because then we would have had a tough time with all of our monsters, kind of taking down that heavy infantry force. They did end up bringing a few halberds, but I think it just ended up not being quite enough. Ultimately, I think it was just the one unit of warriors and the one unit of Chosen that had halberds at the end of the day. I mean, obviously, relying on the anti-large of Kolek and the Dragon Ogre there, I do sort of see merit in that as well. The Shaggoth was able to get quite a bit of work done, as was Kolek, but obviously Norsca having sort of a monster hunting theme about them means that they are very good, even against, anti-large AP monsters. They still have the tools to take them down, and Gojira definitely showcased them very well here. As for the rest of the build here, yeah, the Warhounds and the Marauder Horsemen trying to go after the Eye of Morslave in the backline ended up being a little bit rough thanks to the protection of the Javelins. And as for the rest, I mean, yeah, the casters here, the magic, that Flamestorm, I'm actually surprised didn't end up crediting more kills to Archaon there. That was a pretty nice Flamestorm opening at the beginning. Of course, with the RNG, if it would have gone a little bit better for Bryce, it could have got even more kills. But I definitely like the pick of that Vortex there. And yeah, in a massive situation like that, I mean, obviously, for if you're in a big 2v2 like that, and both, kind of line rush factions, you're expecting to get a big melee blob. Just in general, those big damage spells are going to be quite worth it. Things like Flamestorm, Purple Sun. Obviously, if you're looking at Lore of Shadows, then you can take something like an Overcast Penumbral Pendulum. Can potentially do a ton of damage to a big blob of troops. Pit of Shades, honestly, is pretty lackluster in terms of its damage output. I definitely would not recommend Pit of Shades. But absolutely, the spells from the Lore of Fire. Flamestorm is really great. You guys have seen me use that a whole bunch. Piercing Bolts of Burning can also be quite good in that type of situation. Against unarmored infantry, like if you're going up against Beastmen and Norsca as an alliance, you can probably bet that they're going to have relatively low armored infantry, so you may not necessarily need the armor piercing of some of these spells, but in that case, something like this Burning Head would be quite effective. You wouldn't necessarily have to overcast the Penumbral Pendulum, you could just use that. Of course, we should be looking at this from a Warriors of Chaos perspective. And then with Lore of Death, obviously, you really only have Purple Sun in terms of area of effect damage spells. So honestly, if you're really looking to have some fun in 2v2 and you want to punish your opponents for blobbing up, I definitely recommend against low armor factions, Burning Head, Just any Vortex spells in general are going to be pretty decent. Even something like Gehenna's Hounds can be pretty decent. Doesn't last too long, but it is relatively cheap. But definitely Penumbral Pendulum, Burning Head against low armor. Against high armor, you'll want to overcast Penumbral Pendulum, and then maybe rely more on the big Vortex spells like Burning Head and so on. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this theme 2v2. Nice quick battle, but that's what you expect in a bloodbath like that. Hopefully Khorne is pleased with this offering, so yeah. If you guys liked it, be sure to bless me with a like and subscribe if you do like this sort of content. If you want to support me in a more personal way, be sure to check out the Patreon or become a channel member. Thank you once again, and we'll see you next time.